we get to once again. Isn't this so exciting? Once again, we get to pretty much talk about for the 3 millionth time in this country's history the war on drugs and how it's so dumb, and the talking points are so weak. And you have some comments, so I'll let you take it away here in a minute. But part of them is you can always apply these stupid comments they make about anything to alcohol. Okay? So easy.
Yes.
And they don't bat an eye. All of them are going to go have a freaking Manhattan tonight at the hotel they're staying at that they're putting on the taxpayer dime. You know what I'm saying? We all know. We all know. And yet here they are, railing against hemp designed to be THC, correct? Is that what this is? It's not THC. It's hemp that is reworked into a THC. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, THC adjacent. Because hemp was made legal, and there's certain derivatives of hemp that aren't inherently THC, but they are. I don't know what the term is. I want to say isomers.
Repurpose them. Yeah, I'm saying they repurpose them into.
Yeah,
it's like the D8D9 thing. Oh yeah, Delta 8.
It's a very similar compound that is very similar, just like minorly adjusted, and it has very similar effects on the brain. So it's basically weed. It's a little different. And by some legal loophole, when they said hemp was fine, Delta 8, I think they called it, THC, was legal, and that's been a lot in the South. And it technically wasn't marijuana as the federal government had outlawed it, technically. Right? It was the same, I think, with, do you remember Spice? That bullshit they would make in a lab and spray on just, like, chopped up
If I get cancer in the
herbs.
future, it's not even because of all the other stuff I've done. It's because I smoked Spice, like, 7 times. It was just disgusting. Like, oh, yeah.
Right.
No doubt.
So, a similar argument, but this is more natural because Delta 8 is just like a regular compound in hemp, and people found out how to sort of like express that particular molecule, and it does get people high in a similar way. So, Texas finally, after 3 years of this like loophole and Delta 8 THC popping up at like gas stations and people getting high off of it, they go, it's illegal. And I don't know if they banned like hemp too, or if it was just Delta 8. I can't actually tell, if I'm honest. Do you know?
The stuff that gets you high. I would think, yeah.
So the press conference, they're like holding up, which it's so funny because you know what this press conference advocates for me watching it is just proper regulation with the market. Because he's holding up like bags of cereal and like stuff that's like, it's underground, right? Because in Texas, it's not explicitly legal. So a lot of the stuff being made is under the loophole and they're playing games and it's not as regulated, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So he's holding up like these bags of cereal and shit. And he talks about at some point some 22-year-old who threw themselves.
Oh, I was going to bring that up, dude.
Yeah. But if anything, it's an argument to regulate the product rather than just have it be a legal loophole and let the industry figure it out. You know what I mean?
They don't care, though. And that's what I love about this shit. If you watch the press conference, he starts it and wraps it all up in the beginning around, like, underage, but then slips in from time to time also like, oh, yeah, we don't want adults either doing it. Like, he'll go through this whole thing. He'll go through this whole thing about we're doing it for the kids, doing it for the kids, doing it for the kids. And then, like, for 2 seconds at the end, he's like, also, adults can do it. And then just moves on. You're just like, what the fuck, dude? Like...
Yes, because originally the video I saw was somebody asking, okay, let's protect the kids, but what about adults that utilize this as sort of pain management or whatever the fuck? And he goes, oh, don't get it twisted. We don't want this for adults either. Like, protecting the minors is the main crux of the argument, but really we're here to keep anybody and everyone from accessing
It's like you're trying to convince me that you care about this and you don't arrest Joe Rogan every day. He's famously a pothead, isn't he? And he lives in Austin, Texas.
Yes,
and he ain't smoking the D8s, bro. He ain't smoking the D8s. He's smoking whatever the fuck he wants. Because that's the way the world works. But yeah. Yeah, it's so dumb, man. When they zoomed out on all the products on the table, I freaking laughed. And I thought to myself, like, think about the intern or whatever that had to go pick all this up. You know, damn. Like, yeah, listen, like, you gotta go snatch all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say, I think
they walk in there all weird as shit, and the shop owner's like, because me and you have been in enough things and shops over the years, picking stuff up or whatever, where like if you're weird about it, they'll smell that shit. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, you okay? Like, you know what you're doing? You know, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to take one of everything. It's just like, that's really fucking weird. All right, like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that did make me laugh. I do think this is, if I were to guess, these are seized products by state police. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason
that's
out.
Fair. You ruined that.
You ruined that station back door.
I know. My mind, but that's
I know.
Right. You're right. It's not.
But that'd probably be my guess. But that is funny to think about. But yeah, there's obviously like, and I don't listen. Take this with a massive grain of salt, because I'm just reading the top comments on this YouTube video.
Oh, here we go.
People are talking about donations to Dan Patrick from the alcohol lobbyists and donations from the healthcare lobbyists. Like, they don't want weed legal. They don't want blah 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 blah. Which I do think there's a little bit of that. I don't know if that's the main driving force for this.
No, I'm with you. These people just are old school boomer energy about drugs. That's what it is. Well, is that what you think it is? Because it's not. Look, if he gets money from alcohol and this and that, okay, fine. But I think it's not. I'm with you. It's more just like these people are fucking like just anti-freedom boomers of the old school, and that is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, it's reefer madness.
Look at the crowd here. Look at the diversity.
I know.
The beautiful diversity before your eyes.
True.
You know.
Wow. Only 3 cowboy hats.
By the way, someone said after the conference. All right, yeah, everyone cleaned up. Yep, good. All right, who someone disposed of all the weed products, and they're just like, we don't know where they went. We're not sure. Dan Patrick swept all that shit in a duffel bag. Took that home. Telling you right now. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man.
It's just what was just like so strikingly obvious to me was all the arguments they made here could be made with way more legitimacy against alcohol. So, like, if you're going to make weed illegal, come on.
When the hypocrisy, like, if you're just always when the hypocrisy is so like stunning and out there, it feels insulting. It does. You're just like,
it's right. It's hard for me to sit there and watch that press conference and not think you're a massive pile of shit, because we all know that alcohol applies to every single one of these arguments to a much greater degree.
Look at this too. It's hurting the alcohol sales. Can't have that. Dan to the rescue. Now again, I don't buy into the actual conspiracy of what this implies.
Well,
but I do. I have seen data. I have seen data that the rise of legal weed has made the like hard data alcohol sales go down in those areas, which I believe.
I believe that.
I believe that 100%, no doubt.
But it's just to me it's insincerity, because like, I don't know that you're just buying into reefer madness because you saw a movie when you're 17 and you're a traditional conservative, or if you're getting donated $300,000 towards your next election by some sort of local distillery. I don't care what it is. The fact that I can take your argument and apply that to stuff that's otherwise very easily accessible, and you're trying to ban one and not the other, does not make sense to me. Yeah. Be consistent. You want to ban weed? Fine. You better ban alcohol, because that is objectively a worse drug and a more wider used drug. You don't want to ban alcohol, then what the fuck are we doing?
I'm about to disappoint you, because
go ahead.
All of these things are so obvious to me and you. Whenever we see stuff like this, the obvious hypocrisy, it's so dumb. It's the same tired old trope. Also,
Yeah,
Dan
it's
Patrick,
exhausting.
his nose looks mad weird, bro. I can't be the only one thinking that, right? His nose
So
is
his face
something
isn't
else.
real.
What
Yeah,
the?
no, he's.
We talk
Do you know
about.
what a skinwalker
I got
is?
people that I disagree with who talk about demons in humans. Let's talk about this guy. This looks weird. Anyways, I'm gonna break your heart here. All the things we said are true. This stinks, right? They do all these anti-freedom things, and yet these guys win election after election, man. He's on his third term. So let me bring out the cynicism for a second. You can have all these comments, you can have all this shit, this complaining, but these people continue to win elections in the state of Texas. Why? Like, that is sad. There could be some voter suppression. Someone could show me hard data on that, where I would kind of believe that from there. I'm not saying there is. I haven't seen that. But someone could show that to me, and coming out of a state like Texas, I'd be like, okay. But still, man, they're winning elections. It's tough, dude. I need the good solid energy, the connected to reality energy, the we've seen this war on drugs trope 1,000 times energy to come out and vote, you know. I just sucks. I always tie this back in my mind eventually to, like, dude, this guy's won elections so many times and it just feels like it stinks. So it's true.
Sure. Yeah. I do think that this is actually going to be unpopular.
It's
for a lot of people who vote conservative
you don't think,
in Texas.
You know. But this is a play by people that think that it won't matter and they'll still keep power. And they're probably right. That's what sucks.
Sure.
Sometimes you sit to yourself, how could they do actually objectionably, like, unpopular things? It's like they either think they're going to take power or someone's doing shit because they're term limited anyways and they don't give a fuck on the way out the door, you know? So, it is what it is.
I do think when millennials fully realize their voting power, things will change. I don't know how they'll change. I don't know that they'll be better, but they will be different. And I don't think weed will be a problem. Does that make sense?
I guess I keep
like
reading that my mans that are like 18 to 25 went heavily for Trump last year. It's like, really?
Yeah, but Trump's not going to come out and go, weed should stay illegal. It's not that Trump will make it, he won't make it legal, but I could imagine that idea would be unpopular for that base.
Well, I need someone who's not as back-ass-words as freaking Donald Trump to be able to speak to these people and get them to vote in a more reasonable way. So, it does get tough. It does. Yeah. Sad. Bernie's too old.